Hey guys, so today's video is about some tips I can give you in order to lean out and lose the last 5 to 10 pounds of body fat. So if you're struggling and you think you're eating well and you think you're exercising hard, but you are still unsatisfied, I'm going to try to help you out with that. So I'm going to give you 5 tips. The very first one is going to be actually my nightly cleanse that I already posted a video on. So if you haven't watched it, I would recommend that you do watch it. I do provide some information about leaving a gap between your last meal the night before to your first meal the next day, which is 12 hours. And the reason for that is because most people go to bed full or they eat too late at night, and that's one of the biggest mistakes you can make when you're trying to lean out. Because even if you're eating good throughout the day, if you eat right before you go to bed, you can potentially ruin how much body fat you are burning. So you have to be very careful about that. About 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed should be the minimal amount of time that you leave between eating and falling asleep. So try to do that. 80% of what I'm going to discuss today will be diet. Most of the time when somebody can't lose the last couple of pounds, it's got nothing to do with training, and it has lots to do with nutrition. So you have to look at training and nutrition like your cake and your icing. So the diet's going to be the actual cake itself. The icing is just icing on the cake, which is your exercise. Your exercise is going to make your cake look the way you want it to. But if the cake isn't there, the icing is just kind of hanging around, but you don't know what to do with it. So you need to make sure that you're eating very well in order for the whole thing to come together. And again, diet's going to be the cake. That's going to be the bulk. So I've already talked about the cleanse. I did tell you a little bit about leaving a few hours before you go to bed and leaving your stomach empty. The second thing I want to talk about is eliminating any processed foods. So if you're still eating cereals, cashew or not, if you think that it's good for you, if it's processed, it probably isn't good for you. So there definitely are exceptions. I'm not saying all foods, but in general, if you find that you're eating a lot of things that are coming out of a pack, out of a bag, you want to consider getting rid of it. You should be making a lot of your things from scratch. I make all of my waffles, pancakes, protein bars completely from scratch. I know what's going into them, and that way I can eliminate any added sugars and fats. I like to use stevia because it doesn't have any calories, but it is a sweetener. So that's just one example of making my protein bars better than a store-bought protein bar. So try to do that. Try to make sure that all of your food is coming from the produce aisle, from the fresh protein aisle, so the perimeter of the store. If you're in the shelves quite a bit, you're probably not shopping right. So really reevaluate your fridge and your pantry, go through it and check out anything that you probably think is not that good for you. The third thing is to eat every 2.5 to 3 hours. So if you're leaving too big of a gap, let's say if you're eating every 4 to 5 hours, your body actually goes into starvation mode and your metabolism starts to slow down, which means that you're not burning as many calories as you would like to burn. So you want to make sure you keep your meals a little bit tighter and you are actually timing yourself. If you're not doing that yet, I know a lot of you probably are, but if you're not, set a timer on your phone to remind you. It's going to be difficult in the beginning to get used to eating that often. Just make sure that your portion sizes are smaller. You should be hungry before you eat your next meal. So if you are eating every 3 hours, but you're still full by the time your next meal rolls around, you're probably eating too much. If you're never hungry and if you're always full, your body does not get a chance to burn body fat. All it's burning is the calories that you're ingesting. That might be another one of your problems. So if you are eating every 3 hours, you should start to feel a little bit hungry around the 2-hour mark, and then you want to wait out that additional hour, and you should be excited and ready for your meal. If you're not, reevaluate your portion sizes. The next thing I want to talk about is eliminating liquid calories. I know a lot of you probably still have a problem with drinking juice in your protein shakes, using regular milk, putting creamers in your coffee or regular sugar. Those things add up really, really quickly. You have to think about your body and how many calories it takes to burn a pound of body fat. So in order for you to lose 1 pound of body fat in a week, you need to burn 3,500 calories. And most people ingest that in 1 week just in liquid calories alone. So if you're drinking, even if it's a skinny latte from Starbucks in the morning, let's say if that's 100 calories times 7, that's 700 calories right there in 1 week that you're ingesting just from a latte. So really consider taking it back if you are ingesting liquid calories, and think about how much it takes to burn a pound of body fat, which again is 3,500 calories. So from diet and from exercise combined, you should be able to lose a pound to two a week, no problem. The last thing I want to talk about is definitely exercise, okay? So just because nutrition is the bulk of it, yes, you can lose body fat from nutrition alone, but if you're not exercising, you're not going to look the way you want it to. It's just like baking a cake. The cake might not look very good until you put the icing and the decorations or whatever you put on there, the fondant. So that's going to be your exercise, because if all you're doing is eating well, you may lose the body fat, but you still may look flabby or skinny fat, and I know that a lot of you know what I'm talking about. So you want to aim for a minimum of 5 hours a week of exercise. You want to make it high intensity. You'll burn more calories if you're training high intensity versus sitting on a recumbent bike reading a magazine. If you can ever sit or stand on a treadmill and read a magazine, you are not working out hard enough. If you're texting between your workouts, if you're chatting with people at the gym, you are not working out hard enough. You should be training super, super hard in the gym. You should be sweating with minimal rest. If you're doing that, 1 hour should be more than enough. So just really reevaluate your workouts as well. Are you reading? Are you playing with your phone? Are you talking too long to members? Are you staring at the TVs in the gym? The TV should be turned off when you're doing cardio. When you're in the gym, you should be focusing on your workouts, and I promise you guys that's going to help quite a bit. So that's really all the tips that I have for you for now. If you do have any questions, you can find me on Twitter or on Facebook, and you can ask me any questions that you want, and I'll answer in more detail. And it's Body by Beata. So I hope that you guys are getting something out of this. If you are trying any of my tips out, let me know. I'd like to know how you're doing. And thanks for listening, you guys. So have a great day and good luck.